Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is TeachWithTadgh and you're about to watch an extract from one of my live TikTok lessons where weekly I go through a different part of chemistry, physics or bio to try and help you guys with your exams. Is it as good a quality as my YouTube videos? No. Is it as good a quality as the live lesson itself? Also no. But it is a good summary of different topics. So if you're trying to study something before an exam, this is absolutely perfect. So if you find it good, make sure to hit that like button and tell me what you would like me to cover next in that comment section. Enjoy! Last week I talked about ionic bonding, and this was where we looked at opposite charges. Now the way that we form an ionic bond was we started with something like a metal atom, like sodium, where it had 2 electrons in the first shell, 8 electrons in its second shell, and 1 electron in its outside shell. Okay, so that was its initial setup. Now that electron is going to move. It's going to go somewhere else. It's going to end up over here, just outside of that atom. That's the main thing that's going to happen to it. And as a result, because the sodium atom is losing something that's negative, it in itself will become positive. I need to get rid of this. Okay, so initially, when it loses that thing that's negative, it's going to become positive. So we just call this a positive ion. Now, if there's something out there that wants to take in an electron, I'm going to draw chlorine as an example. I'm actually going to do it in a different color, so bear with me here. If we've got something like chlorine, which has got 2 electrons in its first shell, it's got 8 electrons in its second shell, and then it's got 7 in its third shell. Okay, chlorine is actually in a position to take in an electron. So it'll actually happily absorb that electron into its outer shell. And as a result, because it's taken in something that's negative, it becomes negative. Okay? Last week I described this as like friendship groups. So if you can imagine that your friendship group is after like losing someone that was quite a negative person in your group becomes that slightly bit more positive if they're after leaving. Whereas if your group of friends take in someone that's negative, it brings your group a little bit more negative as well. So that's kind of the concept that I had working for us. And we're all kind of used to that. We are all used to having negative people and positive people in our life. It's an easy way of picturing it. Now that opposite charge attracts towards each other. So we have a special word, don't want to use green, hopefully it'll come out clear. We call this electrostatic attraction. Basically, opposite charges. You've got that plus, you've got the plus, you've got the minus, they're oppositely charged, they're attracted towards each other. So that's the basics of ionic bonding. That's what we covered last week, okay? The idea that opposite charges attract, and we're looking at 1 electron moving across the other. Now the added bonus of this, and the whole reason we have these type of bonds, is because we're looking at emptying 1 outer shell. We're looking to get rid of 1 shell so that the previous shell becomes our like full outer shell. And this one is taking in 1 so it can get a full outer shell. Electrostatic attraction, that word, is where we're looking at the positive charge and negative charge attracting towards each other. It's basically a fancy word for saying opposite charges are attracted. In the exam, if you write that down, they're going to give you the mark straight away, but you'd also get the mark for saying opposite charges are attracted. So use whichever word you prefer. There's no point overcomplicating it if you're getting confused about, oh, was this electrostatic or was that electrostatic? Just stick with what you know. They'll happily take a plus charge and a minus charge are attracted towards each other. Just say that. It's just as easy.